I just got my PC back. I'm writing this script hours before I need to go into work, so let's fast track this into the editing room. So, Wizard of the Coast has recently been slapping reviewers with cease and desists for talking about their games unless they're on a short list of loyal fans that are okayed by Hasbro. Why? 2023. Hasbro has realized the power of YouTube and its reviewers. I like to think that I'm on the long list of people not allowed to talk about them, but I know I'm too tiny for them to care about, figuratively and literally. I'm short. But I'm not going to load their gun for them. Instead, what I'm going to do is go through my list of old reviews and give you some recommendations. Why? Because this company has shown countless times how venomous they are to you, and people are still loyal to them as a dog to the humans who raised them. Now, let's start out with fantasy. Personally, my favorite in that generalist genre is Pathfinder 1st Edition. I know a bit about 2nd Edition, but I've never gotten to run a game of it before, so I'll stick to what I know for now. 3.5 D&D is said to be the best D&D. Some of y'all complain about bloat. I say you're complaining about options and choices like morons. Pathfinder is 3.5, but slightly different. I won't say better. I believe it's better, but that's subjective. You've got multiple planets, not realms and realities, but planets to explore. You've got aliens, magic monsters to play. You want to be an ogre? Go for it. Robot? Easy. A gunslinger? Viable option. Psyker? Indeed. Pathfinder 1st Edition is great if you want various options and possible ways to go about it. Another fantasy setting could be the Savage World system. Why do I phrase it like that? Well, I did a couple of reviews, and different worlds have different changes to them, but they're all the same system. Savage Worlds is all about customization. You want to play a little dude with a giant fuck-off sword? Easy. You want to make your own race? Simple. Your own combat style that combines guns with judo? Stop watching Equilibrium, it's a cool movie, but you and I are the only ones who've watched it. With the proper settings, you can choose to have a game that takes place in the Roman Empire, or you could choose an undead setting. Perhaps something grim? Maybe comedic. It's all good options. You can do just about anything depending on what the GM wants to run. Of course, you might want a modern day setting. The World of Darkness is good for that, though I'd recommend some of the older versions of the game since the Renegade version is, questionable. Not bad, but not good either. Honestly, the video game Vampire the Masquerade is a fitting vibe of the TTRPGs. You got the grim, the dark, the slight humor, and the modern vibe to it, with mystery as well. Without Numbers has 3 different games, all of which are interesting systems. Worlds, Cities, and Stars. I know I reviewed one of them, and I can't recall which one it is. One is sci-fi, one is fantasy, and I assume Cities is a modern set one. Of course, one system that gets way overlooked is Kids on Bikes and variations of it, so I'll combine just about everything under that company and this one system here. It's a system involving normal-ass kids that are often thrown into fantastic situations, only sometimes of their own imagination, and they need to get the hell out of said situations. Wits are a good way to utilize said game, but what game really asks you to use your brain? Well, how about a horror game? Call of Cthulhu is a great one. I think we're on 7th, maybe 8th edition of that game, but you can set it in to be in any setting. Some parts of it require certain eras, the amount of questions involved in it, the slim chance of anything failing, and you're always one failure from death, or worse, insanity. Call of Cthulhu, I'll admit, is a fantastic game if you want to spook, but it's a very complicated game that will push some people away, so there's variations of it that'll likely get people to try it out. Fate is good, simple system for any sort of setting, with the core rulebook being a bit of a hassle to get, but worth it. Each setting book just giving some specific sort of things to add to the system. But I find myself loving sci-fi style settings. Let's talk about those real quick. Numenera is a game I've been wanting to try out so badly lately. Only 3 classes, but multiple options to run each one, each level with multiple choices. Is it magic? Is it science? The answer is yes. Have fun with that right there. Of course, more grim games that's surprisingly forgiving is Warhammer 40,000 Roleplay Wrath and Glory. I admit I'm a sucker for the 40k setting, and this is my first TTRPG in said setting, but it gives you that power fantasy in mixed with that we're all fucked sort of vibe. Even if you survive the insanity of the leveled combat, you can still just get one-shot by a Daemon Prince or a Xenospecies. Of course, Grim isn't the only option when it comes to sci-fi, right? Paranoia, a game about screwing with your friends and having a laugh at each other and your own expense. Even character creation is all about shooting your friends in the face and laughing at them when their clone comes back with a vengeance. But what if you want that Spelljammer vibe, but you're an idiot that thinks the Spelljammers are spaceships, not vein boats? Starfinder 1st Edition is your boat. 2nd Edition seems to be built to fit with Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which doesn't seem to be working near as well as everyone was hoping, so 1st is the way to go for now. Now, with the year 2023, Paizo announced some books, then immediately cancelled said books because of how Wizards was trying to act like they invented the D20 and everyone owed them, despite the fact the creators of Paizo also made D&D 3.5, but let's not get into that. I did 3 videos praising Starfinder, and I recommend y'all check out the Maple Tables videos about them. He hasn't posted in a long time, but that's because he's a dad now of 3. Congratulations for him! Man's tired of sin. Now, I just named 10 or 11 different games that you could play instead of giving money to the company that acts like you're just an obstacle between you and between them and your money. And none of these were made by my own hands. But let's add those to the list, though. But you can get a few games on our website, all of which are free right now, as we're struggling to find a goddamn illustrator. Head to the website in the description of this video, and you can find Conqueror Creations games like Saloon or Cat Empire. Free downloads and free to play and test out. I suggest these games not because I hate D&D. It got my love of TTRPGs started. What I hate is how the love was abused and bastardized. The only way to make it grow back into what it was once loved is to prune the bushes. So go ahead and cut the dead leaves away. Try something different. Normally at this point, I would tell you to go shove off and I'd make some joke, yada yada blah blah, but I'm ending this different. Go out there. Try something new. Don't be afraid. New is scary, but it can lead to magic, so go find some magic out there, and so long.